I'm McGarry here again. Today we will be talking about joy coming from within. Welcome back and thank you for joining me on our second day. In our first recording, we explored what joy is, why it's important, and how the Camino offers so many beautiful opportunities to experience joy through the people we meet and the moments we encounter. Today, I'd like to take this a step further. What if joy isn't something that we stumble across? What if it is also something that we can cultivate and develop within ourselves? It may come as a surprise to you, but the good news is that joy is not just a lucky accident. Like anything that's worthwhile, it can be developed and cultivated. In the Book of Joy, with the Dalai Lama, Dr. Desmond Tutu, and Doug Abrams, they describe joy as having 8 pillars, 4 of which are mind-based and 4 others heart-based qualities, and they discuss how joy can be developed and cultivated. Today, I'd like to begin by looking at 2 of these pillars, those of the mind-based qualities that we can cultivate and develop, those of acceptance and perspective. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up on something. It means seeing the reality as it is, as it's in front of us, rather than exhausting ourselves swimming upstream against it and wishing it were different. As one wise saying goes, that when we argue with reality, we lose, but only 100% of the time. The Camino teaches us this lesson every single day. Perhaps today's path is far steeper than we had expected. The climbs might seem endless, or the descents feeling steeper than usual and putting a greater demand on our tired knees. You could wish that hill wasn't there, but wishing it won't make it go away. Acceptance allows us to stop fighting the path and instead discover the strength to walk it. Or perhaps your feet are beginning to complain. A blister might have appeared. You might be lucky if only one appeared. You may become frustrated and keep pushing through the pain, or maybe take a wiser response to stop, to care for your feet for a while and allow yourself that little bit of kindness. I can still remember the relief of washing my feet, carefully drying them, and applying those wonderful, special padded plasters which really relieve the pain. Such small acts of self-care become an unexpected moment of gratitude. And the same is true for our backpacks. They might feel particularly heavy on a given day, but guess what? We've chosen to carry them. But now we might decide to choose a different next step. Perhaps we might take a rest for a while, or we might decide to send our luggage forward with the courier service for the next day or so. Acceptance is not about failure. It's about responding wisely to the reality that is in front of us. The weather also teaches us a similar lesson. Some days it might bring fierce winds. Other days there might be relentless heat, particularly on the Meseta Plain, where there's little shade. A carefully planned schedule might be disrupted. We may need to change it. Acceptance allows us to adjust without feeling defeated. And often when we stop resistance, we might discover unexpected gifts. A slower day, a meaningful conversation, or it could be a village that we didn't intend stopping at. Sometimes life's detours become its greatest blessing. Perspective is the second quality I'd like to talk about today. Each of us sees our world through our unique lens. The Camino reminds us that we always have choice. So before we react, we can simply take a breath and choose how we're going to respond. We could, for example, become curious instead of immediately becoming upset. Perhaps somebody has jumped ahead of us in the queue while we're waiting to be served. Maybe our first thoughts are that of annoyance, or perhaps we could simply think that this person may be exhausted and not paying attention to what they're doing. Maybe somebody speaks sharply or makes a comment that stings us. So rather than carry that hurt for the rest of the day, we might ask ourselves, could they be carrying a burden that I know nothing about? Or perhaps another pilgrim could share an opinion or an experience that differs totally from our own experience. The Camino is a wonderfully diverse place. People coming from different countries, cultures, beliefs, and life experience. Listening with openness instead of judgment can become one of the Camino's greatest teachers. Changing our perspective doesn't mean pretending everything is hunky-dory and positive. It simply means remembering that we have the freedom to choose how we are going to respond. And often that choice creates space for a greater peace and a greater joy. As you continue your own Camino, whether that's walking across Spain to reach Santiago de Compostela or navigating life's everyday challenges, I invite you to notice these moments when acceptance softens resistance and when a new perspective opens your heart. Thank you for joining me today. And in our final recording, our third section, we will be looking at two beautiful qualities of forgiveness and compassion. These are the heart-based qualities. So until then, buen camino.